with you. It is wonderful scenes here in the Dominican Republic. The weather is just about perfect, and we're excited to see on the standings and the second place teams from the other groups. We'll talk about that more in just a moment. We'll have the procession of the players in just a moment as well, then the lineups and the kickoff from the Dominican Republic. First of two, as Bermuda meets Antigua and Barbuda. Well, the two sets of players exchange pleasantries here before this vital encounter in League B Group D of the Concacaf Nations League. Again, Bermuda trying to push for the top spot. They'll have to get some help later on today. They'll have to take care of business first in the scenic part of Santiago de los Caballeros in the Dominican Republic today. It really is postcard-esque weather here. Just about as good as it's gonna get for the beautiful game this afternoon. Let's jump into the starting lineups. We begin with Michael Finley's Bermuda starting 11, led of course by the captain, Dante Leverock. Look immediately into that midfield. Kane Critchlow, Keziah Martin, and Reggie Lamb will all be very important today. Luke Robinson and Nakai Wells are the two attacking forwards up top. Patrick Sena-Charles is our on-field head official from Haiti, Cuba, and Trinidad and Tobago also represented amongst our on-field officials. It's also worth reminding you that there is no VAR. Quentin Griffith captains the side for Antigua and Barbuda today, led by coach Neil Jeffers, hoping to get their first points on the board in the group in a game they pretty much have to win if they're going to avoid relegation. And Quentin Griffith leads the side up top alongside Dion Pereira. We look at Thomas James Bramble, Kendukar Challenger in the midfield. Both are going to be very important. And Javorn Stevens, another attacking piece up top. Certainly one to watch. Lovely scenes and shots here of the stadium in the Dominican Republic. We'll, of course, get to see the Dominican Republic later on today after this game concludes. And they'll take on Dominica with a chance to get within one result of not only just topping the group and getting promotion to League A, but a coveted berth into next year's Concacaf Gold Cup. That's what Bermuda are playing for as well. Or second place in the group could still yield a spot in the Gold Cup prelims, but they want to chase the DR down, and they're going to have to win this one today if they plan on doing so. Off we go from the DR. Bermuda are in pink. They're kicking from left to right, and they get a throw in inside of 15 seconds. It's good pressure initially, but Bermuda are able to play their way through it. It does deflect out, and the men in pink will settle for an early throw yet again. Now, we had a chance earlier before kickoff to look back through the history and the fixtures between these two, and of course more recently Bermuda, 1-0 victory. That was in the Nations League, of course, back in September. Game that really helped Bermuda move things in the right direction, really, in this group. And of course, prior to that, you have to go back to, for some of the fixtures, the 90s between these two. World Cup qualifying. I've seen these two teams meet quite a few times. Bermuda undefeated in those World Cup qualifiers. Goes all the way back to Trey Bell. Well, Harry Twite, Reece Jones Jr., Dante Leverock, some of the important pieces defensively for Bermuda that Antigua and Barbuda are going to have to play their way through if they're going to get enough goals to win this game. Bermuda, meanwhile, trying to make their presence felt in the opposite end. But the pass up ahead for Nakai Wells is going to bounce out of play. But you saw earlier, looking at the group table, 9 points for Bermuda so far. Of course, that means that they cannot be relegated at this stage. So at a bare minimum, they'll be staying in League B. But they want more than that, and they're off to the races here. Initial shot was blocked. A second try was blocked. Bermuda could get a third chance at it here on the edge of the penalty area. Still fighting to win possession back. And the pass out wide deflects out for a corner. Wow. 2 or 3 big opportunities there. And the defensive unit, led by Safike Drew, doing the defensive work there. Roneba Cordes, Antonio Morgan, and Drew in particular are going to be the players to anchor things down defensively. Antigua and Barbuda, again, no points on the board. They've only scored once in this group phase, and they've conceded over a dozen goals. And from the corner, Zaim Scott rises above the rest to make the catch. We've seen Antigua and Barbuda go through multiple matches in this group stage, and Zaim Scott has been one of the bright spots. However, it does sort of indicate that the defensive side of things have not quite been up to snuff. Oh, lovely control on the near side. A little layoff is going to be cleared away, and it just sneaks over the end line before Kane Critchlow could keep it in play. Critchlow actually scored the winner the last time these two met in the Nations League. Early ball whipped into the penalty area is cleared away. And again, it just sneaks over the end line before it could be saved by Antonio Morgan. It's a throw-in for Bermuda on the near side. As far as the goal-scoring side of things is concerned, Bermuda have not had as much trouble. 12 goals scored. They have conceded 6 along the way. I'm sure that's something that Michael Finley would like to improve upon, especially getting this game going and then obviously preparing after that for a date with a very strong Dominican Republic side that are as good as anybody, at least in League B, in the attacking third. The likes of Ronaldo Vasquez and Junior Firpo and plenty others. There's been a plethora of DR attackers who have made their presence felt. But as soon as I say that, I'm reminded that Michael Finley, of course, cannot look too far ahead. Have to take care of business today to set up a potential final group stage match clash to try to usurp the Dominican Republic at the top of the table. Antigua and Barbuda, we talked about it earlier. To be exact, 13 goals conceded so far. It really has been a situation where at times Antigua and Barbuda have been able to really stifle teams defensively for a period of time, but then they let that goal in and it tends to unravel quickly after that. It's one of those things where it almost feels like the message to the team, and I'm sure it's been relayed, is keep your heads up after you score a goal. Game's still in the balance. And that's a situation where many teams around the world, club and country, have to work through that mental side of the game to stay locked in. Bermuda are gonna get a chance here, and it's a lovely flick. Just outside the 6-yard box, the offside flag goes up. It would not have counted, even if it came off, I think, for Reggie Lamb. Maybe got a little too fancy with his finish inside the penalty area. No trouble for Scott, and again, the offside flag made it all a moot point. Best chance, though, for either side in these opening 7 minutes and change. Again, first of 2 in Group D of League B. We'll have Dominican Republic versus Dominica following this one. Oh, lovely little dummy to allow the ball to roll into the penalty area. Scott saves, rebound is in off a deflection. And Bermuda do score the opening goal inside of 8 minutes. Now Scott was able to make the initial save, but it trickles right back out. And Bermuda are able to find the finishing touch. Tough to tell if that was on target. If it was, it's a goal for Kane Critchlow yet again against Antigua and Barbuda. The reason for the pause is if it did deflect off of Safike Drew and it was going wide, it would go down as an own goal. But for now, Wells had his initial shot parried. Critchlow follows up and scores the goal, although now it does look like it has been given as an own goal. Safike Drew was the player for Antigua and Barbuda who last touched it. We're gonna have to wait and see. Maybe that might get a look as far as who is awarded the goal, but I'll tell you what, Michael Finley and the rest of the Bermuda players aren't gonna care too much. They've got the lead, and they have a foundation of which to build upon. Well, to be fair to Drew, he had to slide back towards the end line to try and clear that, and there wasn't really, I should say, wasn't much he could do besides trying to just get a boot onto it, and unfortunately for him, it did ricochet into his own net. And again, we'll wait to see if that changes, but for now, it has been given as an own goal. And here, a couple of step-overs. Can Bermuda quickly build towards a second? And this is again where Antigua and Barbuda need to stay switched on defensively. Little layoff on the edge of the penalty area. Oh, it's quick feet. Bermuda looking for a penalty, and the referee points for a goal kick. Well, Luke Robinson did really well to maraud his way into the penalty area, but our head official says not enough for a spot kick. Remember, no VAR, so we cannot go back and check it. The referee's decision on field is final. And to be fair to our referee, it didn't look like there was a ton in the challenge, although he has a much better view than we do. Bell. Well, Bermuda dangerously here, trying to play out of the back, and they've given it away. Antigua and Barbuda have the numbers here. It's played across. Chance for the equalizer. Oh, just wide. And it took a deflection. Antigua and Barbuda have a corner to work with. That was Javorn Stevens taking aim. And Bermuda were able to do just about enough. It was a rare miscue from them playing out of the back. Talked about it at times when Antigua and Barbuda played the Dominican Republic a while back. And Antigua and Barbuda, the way that they can get into games is by forcing the issue, and from the corner, it's touched back out and it's volleyed into the trees. Well, it was hit like a rocket by Raheem Detterville, who had actually some really positive moments in the last international window for Antigua and Barbuda, but he sends it soaring out of play. Oh, will Bermuda try again to play this out of the back? They've given it away again! And then the goalkeeper, Bell, makes amends for his mistake. Oh, nearly a gift. 2 times in a row, Bermuda tried to play their way out of the back. Disaster strikes, but again, Javorn Stevens is thwarted this time by the man who made the mistake. Bell concedes the corner. Detterville to take. Plays it to the edge of the penalty area. Pereira through a sea of legs. Detterville back across, and the header is blocked. And Bermuda will get out with possession. 2 close calls in the same sequence. And all of a sudden, Bermuda rocking a bit here at the back. Maybe another opportunity here. It's a lovely run. First time crossed into the middle, headed away by Twite. And the follow-up is blocked away. And Bermuda, just about, are going to be able to clear it. Nervy moments here for Michael Finley's group. And Antigua and Barbuda, all of a sudden, building in confidence. Clipped over the top down this near side. Again, it's another lovely little turn to keep the attack moving. It was a hopeful cross into the center, and it's cleared away. This is looped over the top. Little glance to see if the offside flag went up. Wells continues the move. Good cross into the middle. And the shot, it was hopeful to begin with, but it was also blocked. And Bermuda will settle for a throw. Well, end-to-end action over these last couple of minutes. Antigua and Barbuda are unfortunate not to have equalized at one end. And then Bermuda didn't take too much time after they survived the sequence to move it up the other end. Can Antigua and Barbuda take advantage of this newfound confidence? Look at the stats there. Successful passes just about even. Bermuda edging the possession, but Antigua and Barbuda, at least in the last 5 minutes, doing more with their possession. And as soon as I say that, Bermuda have a chance in the middle. It's just over the head of Luke Robinson. And the ball is just going to go out of play. It will stay with Bermuda on the far side. And the referee blows the whistle there. He goes back to the men in yellow. Antigua and Barbuda, I believe, are going to have a free kick here, or is it going to be a throw-in from a different position? It looks like it's the latter. Twite helps Bermuda to reset at the back. It does kind of feel like that Michael Finley's group maybe just needs a moment to reset. This ball is scooped over the top. Well, there's time and space here for a cross, and it's blocked before it could enter the penalty area. Now a possible head injury off of that block. He's going to force the referee to stop the play and bring on some medical attention. Raheem Detterville is the player who blocks the cross here. Parfit right into the side of his head, and well, again, rightly so, the referee pauses the action to make sure that Detterville is okay to continue. It'll allow both teams to get a reset and essentially a timeout here in the 18th minute. Again, the lone goal has been ruled as an own goal. Safike Drew trying to clear a shot that was heading at least into the vicinity of the target from Kane Critchlow. Ended up redirecting it into his own net. And that goal has allowed Bermuda to take the lead. But I must say, since the goal's gone in, Antigua and Barbuda have had 2 or 3 really good opportunities to equalize. 2 of them came off of Bermuda miscues, playing out of the back, the other from a set piece, where a volley nearly got all the way through a sea of legs. And now that the action restarts. Well, in the live table, Bermuda, of course, would be level on points with the Dominican Republic, who they'll hope will drop points later today, although they haven't done it since, or so far, I should say, as Twite redirects that towards Scott. Again, a little bit of a miscue, but in the end, Bell resets for Bermuda. This time, Bermuda are able to play their way through, although they didn't make it look easy. It's clearly something that Michael Finley has wanted his team to work on, but I must say it has not been very good so far. That ball is threaded through, but a critical challenge in there defensively by Quentin Griffith halts the sequence, coupled with an offside flag. Have to give defenders credit for challenges like that. They're not to know whether the flag is going to save them or not. Quentin Griffith got it absolutely spot on. Oh, another dangerous clearance by Bell. Volleyed it out of the air, and if he had missed that, the goal would have been completely unmarked. There's a look at the offside decision. I must say, it was tighter than it looked. But meanwhile, Bermuda look to build again here. The curling ball towards the back stick. He's going to deflect out of play. Although I think the flag may have gone up here. Another look. Oh, well, actually, it came off a defender. So the flag actually should not have gone up there. If a defender deliberately plays the ball, offside should be negated in that situation. That's a bit of a break for Antigua Barbuda. Oh, and it's another miscued clearance at the back, but Bell settles the situation down. My goodness. Well, we've talked about how positive Bermuda's defense has been at times in this group stage, but they have made a mess of a few of these opportunities in the first half. I think Harry Twite meant to head that back to the goalkeeper, but he ended up heading it into his own teammate who wasn't ready for it. And they were lucky that it ricocheted back to Bell anyway. If it hadn't, again, Bermuda would have been in very, very big trouble. Well, despite leading, Bermuda have been playing with fire in the first half of this one. Well, this time they're not going to take any chances and just hoof it upfield. But to be fair, Scott is there to reset. Antigua Barbuda continue to keep it in possession. Now the next question is, can the men in yellow take advantage of a solid start overall and grab what would be a vital equalizer for them in a game they pretty much have to win? If they don't, they're going to leave it to the final day, and Dominica, who have a superior goal differential, will have the inside track. If Antigua Barbuda could win this game and get help, I should say, from the DR in the next game, then if Antigua Barbuda could beat Dominica, then they're safe and stay in League B. If that scenario doesn't play out, they will be relegated to League C for the first time in the club's history, I should say in the country's history, beg your pardon, in this Nations League competition. Can Bermuda put together some strong build-up play from this position? Chance to cross this into the middle. Battle rages on this far side. It's actually very well defended by Antigua and Barbuda on the far side. Question now is, did this go out for a throw or out for a corner? It's Drew who does an excellent job closing that down. Tough to tell from that angle which side of the flag it was on. It looks like it is going to be a throw based on the initial spotting of the ball here, although I take that back. It's a corner. Looked like it flew over the flag, so it's tough there for the referee to gauge it. Keziah Martin to take for Bermuda. Decent ball in, had to be helped along. Bermuda will settle for the throw. They take it quickly. Wells is dispossessed. Detterville leads the break. Oh, and it's a good defensive intervention to keep the transitional move in check. Now on the turn, it's an early ball for Wells to chase, but when he committed a foul, he pushed into the back, it looks like, of Roneba Cordes. Cordes wins a free kick. Little spin there from Tucker. And I think it was a couple of nudges there from Nakai Wells, and possibly treading on the back of the boot. I think that actually did more harm than the push. Cordes is still hurt because of that. That's our second injury stoppage of the half, which of course could impact stoppage time when we get there. Oh, lovely passing here from Antigua Barbuda. And the ball's floated over the top, not the best of headers. And the shot is fizzed wide. Just out for a corner. It's a third close call for Javorn Stevens. He's very unlucky not to have scored. Again, it's some defending that's not up to snuff for Bermuda at the back. It allows Stevens to leak in behind, and he nearly scored. This time it was Dante Leverock. You don't see him make too many mistakes. Made one here, and it nearly cost his side. I think it's fair to say that Bermuda have been warned multiple times here, but are they going to be punished? Here's Kane Critchlow. Out to the far side it goes. Bermuda will, again, take their foot off the gas for the moment to reset. Tucker. Trying to overload this far side with Bermuda attacking players. Not a ton to aim at in the middle as far as a cross. And then it's a giveaway. Bermuda quickly retrieve possession, only for it to be given away a second time. And now it could really open up here for Antigua Barbuda. Good reverse pass. Javorn Stevens lays it off. It's a chance here for the equalizer. And again, there just wasn't enough in the shot. Bell makes the save. More promising play in transition from Antigua and Barbuda, just no finishing touch. Now we approach the half-an-hour mark in this League B Group D affair. Well, sometimes you see a team score a goal and they're able to go on from there and use that momentum. In some ways, it's hurt Bermuda, I think. They were so strong in the opening 10 to 15 minutes, and since then, these kind of moments have been happening. Oh, and another chance to play Antigua and Barbuda in, and it hits off the back heel of a teammate who the pass was not intended for. Well, Antigua and Barbuda are going to have to make more of those opportunities. Now Bermuda look to push this ahead. This is Jones Jr. Nakai Wells. Wells continues his run, and the pass again is cut out. Javorn Stevens trying to hold up the play. He's dispossessed. Another chance to thread the needle. Another defensive intervention. I was wondering if the ball went out of play. On that far side, that was Luke Robinson. It stays with Bermuda. Again, the one thing that Bermuda have in their back pocket for this international window is if they do finish in second and finish as one of the best second-place teams in League B, they'll still move on to the Gold Cup prelims, where they'll have as good a chance as anybody to make it to the Gold Cup proper. Good ball there to the byline. No chance to put in the cross. It's closed down, and it's out for a corner. Bermuda, of course, did make the Gold Cup back in 2019, their only appearance. Did pick up a win, suffered a couple of defeats along the way. And then there was a chance for Reggie Lamb. But he was not able to beat Scott. Ends up being a goal kick. Antigua and Barbuda, on the other hand, and to be fair, they're not in contention, unfortunately, for Gold Cup play. They've never qualified for the Gold Cup in their history. Unfortunately, that drought is going to continue. There is no scenario where Antigua and Barbuda can finish in second. Best they can do is third and stay in League B, and frankly, all things considered, I think they would take that if it plays out that way. But the path to getting there starts with at least picking something up today. And by that I mean preferably a win if you're Antigua and Barbuda, but even a point gives you a sliver of hope. That was a good little give and go. The interplay from Bermuda has been amongst the positives for them in the first half, specifically in and around the penalty area. And there was a little follow through there. Wells was brought down. And Bermuda have a set piece opportunity here. Now Nakai Wells, I think it's just about in his range for a shot. And Wells will go for goal. And it wasn't far away, just needed to have it dip a little bit more, although I think Scott would have had it covered. Decent effort, but it's a goal kick in the end. Certainly had the pace. That ball bounces in behind. Oh, and the referee's given a foul here against Antigua and Barbuda. Even a few of their players were a bit perplexed. Well, Bermuda are able to get a break there. And they'll get a free kick to alleviate the pressure. I think the Antigua and Barbudan players were frustrated because they thought they had a chance to make something out of that. Oh, and now there's confusion over where the restart is to be taken. Well, the referee's given Bell a talking to here. Not entirely sure why that was necessary. I think he was just moving the ball to the right position. At least that was the initial indication. Well, sometimes for us in the broadcast booth, if you will, tough to tell when you can't hear the conversation what those moments are about, and body language, context clues don't always give you the full picture. Good reverse ball into the penalty area. Better defensive move. Cordes and Drew and company had it covered. And then the attack fizzles out on the far side. What's a takeaway here? Oh, and it's a lovely little run through, but Wells couldn't make the proper touch. He would have been in. It was another lovely little dummy. They try to find Wells again, but this time it's cleared. And if Wells had just helped it along into his own path, he would have had a 1v1 with the goalkeeper. We talked about it. 2019 was Bermuda's last and only Concacaf Gold Cup appearance. They did not make it to the knockout stages. They were in a very difficult group, it must be said. Talked about it. They had 1 win and 2 defeats. As the ball's looped in here, pinballs around. Still up for grabs. It hasn't been cleared yet, and now Antigua and Barbuda are able to alleviate the pressure for now. The 1 win for Bermuda in that group stage was a 2-0 win over Nicaragua at Red Bull Arena in Harrison, New Jersey. They suffered 2-1 defeats at the hands of Haiti and Costa Rica, who were just 5 years removed from making it to the quarterfinals of a World Cup in Brazil. That was still the Ticos, maybe the back end of those prime teams. Of course, Costa Rica played in the first leg of the quarterfinals in the Nations League, lost at home to Panama by 1-0. In fact, there were 3 home teams that lost by 1-0 in the quarterfinal first legs. Meanwhile, another takeaway. Oh, and a very poor challenge defensively by Tucker. Free kick for Antigua and Barbuda, and it's in a prime position. Oh, Bermuda just continue to struggle playing out of their own end here. Wouldn't have been surprised if the referee thought about going to his pocket there after Bishop was brought down. And Antigua and Barbuda are going to be within striking distance once again of an equalizer. Well, I think the reason the referee doesn't go to the pocket there was because it was knee-to-knee contact. Just to put a bow on that 2019 Gold Cup, the winner was Mexico over the U.S. in the final. Mexico, of course, are the current defending Gold Cup champions as well. Safike Drew goes for goal himself. Trying to make amends for putting it accidentally into his own net earlier. Not a bad effort as he tried to score at the right end this time, but it flies out of play. Oh, the luck, it maybe was about a foot and a half too high. There's been positives all up and down this first half for Antigua and Barbuda, but unfortunately for them, they're still in a losing position. And again, if they lose, it'll only take a draw from Dominica in their game later on today against the DR to officially relegate Antigua and Barbuda down to League C of the Concacaf Nations League. They're trying to avoid that fate by picking up at least a point. Well, back to Bell. Here we go again. And this time Bell thinks better of it and just gets it out of harm's way. Bermuda go down the far side. Ooh, could be a chance to cross this into the middle. It's a dangerous ball in, and the header bounces kindly for Scott. Now Antigua and Barbuda, if they work quickly, could have a counterattack on here. But they're waiting for more numbers to join in. It'll be a reset through Antonio Morgan, and then a slip at the back here, inviting Bermuda forward. Oh, lovely little back heel to find Wells. And Wells wins a corner. Now it's an audacious back-heeled no-look from Reggie Lamb. But Nakai Wells was not able to cross it into the middle. They'll take the corner, though. Something to work with here. Jair Parfit is going to stand over this for Bermuda. He pins it into the penalty area, but nobody there in pink to attack. Parfit tries again. And it's a high arcer towards Twite. Good header centrally, but the ball went out of play before Twite was able to center the header. And it is going to be a goal kick. Harry Twite, a bit unlucky there. Did well to find a teammate who was ready to unleash an effort, but unfortunately, from his point of view, the ball had already gone out of play before he got his head to it. And now Scott, under pressure, is able to clear it, but the touch was firm, and referee allows play to continue, and Bermuda could be in here. Great cut back! And it's a marvelous save from Scott. Well, we told you how good Zaim Scott has been in the Nations League, and he ends up thwarting Nakai Wells. It's a lovely cutback onto his left, and it's an acrobatic stop by Scott. To be fair to Wells, if he had just picked a corner, Scott would have had no chance at it. But Scott comes to the aid of Antigua and Barbuda here. Still a corner to defend. Ooh, and the referee didn't take too kindly to something that was happening near the goalkeeper. Set piece for Bermuda. It's going to go to the back stick. Some lovely touches to keep it alive, although Antigua and Barbuda are saying that it was handled by Kane Critchlow. And that ends up being a moot point, and now a chance to counterattack here. Can Antigua and Barbuda make the most of this opportunity? Pereira. Now it's poked ahead. Maybe a chance for Javorn Stevens. He just about keeps it alive. So we're into first half stoppage time here. Again, the Antigua and Barbuda trying to drive it forward to no avail. And we are into 2 added minutes at the end of the half. And the player down behind the play for Antigua and Barbuda is DeAndre Bishop. And he was the one trying to drive towards the penalty area. And may have taken a shot there. Unintentionally, of course. Bishop is going to go off to the side for a moment. Looks like he wants back in. We'll see if that factors into the end of the first half here. The referee will just let it ride. Lovely ball played over the top here. Good layoff as well, and the arriving shot is saved by Scott again. That's more like it from Bermuda. Fluidity in the attacking third has been a big reason, in a big way. They've gotten towards the top of the table in this group. We'll play on a little bit past the 2 added minutes for the Bishop stoppage. Is there time for one more attack for either side? It's played back by Jones Jr. And Bermuda may be happy to go into the half. At this point, we'll wait and see. Twite. Back for Bell. Well, Bermuda are going to try and play their way through here, and now Twite does lift it over the top, and as it goes out of play, it looks like that is the end of the half here in the Dominican Republic. Well, the fact that Bermuda were happy to settle for halftime there and not go after the second goal tells you how good Antigua and Barbuda were in that first half. They had a multitude of big chances, and we will highlight those in, fittingly enough, the first half highlights, which are to come after a short break here in the DR. Halftime here in this Nations League Group D affair in League B. It is Bermuda 1, Antigua and Barbuda 0. Jean St. Jacques back here with you, about to get the second half started between Bermuda and Antigua and Barbuda. 1-0 to the men in pink through an own goal off the boot of Savike Drew. See if Bermuda can capitalize on this, or will Antigua and Barbuda find their shooting boots in the second half. It's a game that really Antigua and Barbuda need to win, or at bare minimum grab a point if they want to continue their push to avoid relegation from League B down to League C in the Concacaf Nations League. But Bermuda not going to waste any time. They quickly get into the opposition penalty area, only for Nigel Jeffers' side to deal with it defensively. Ball's going to be floated over the top. Twice, shepherds it out for a goal kick. I was going to say, it did look like a substitution was made at the half. I believe it was for Antigua and Barbuda. Keon Green came on for Javorn Stevens, who came so close to scoring possibly multiple goals in that first half. Unfortunately, his race is run. We'll see if Keon Green, with some fresh legs, can get Antigua and Barbuda back on terms here. Again, Antigua and Barbuda are in yellow. Bermuda are in their gorgeous pink kits from head to toe. Oh, lovely ball flicked out to the far side. Give and go on here for Bermuda. And again, they're driven out of the penalty area. Have to reset here. Through ball to the near side. Chance to maybe cross this into the middle. That's exactly what they do. It's headed high into the air, and then it's volleyed in. It's the second goal. Reggie Lamb takes it beautifully for Bermuda. And they double their advantage with a gorgeous volleyed finish. And Antigua and Barbuda may be starting to rue some of those first half chances. And it's Reggie Lamb who celebrates a second goal for Bermuda, who double their advantage. Worth another look. He just plucks it out of the sky. It's wonderful technique. And it's a beautiful Bermuda finish. 2-0 is the score. Beautifully taken by Lamb. And it took Bermuda just over 2 minutes at the start of the second half. And they have increased their lead in a game that not only do they have to win, they really want to win by a few goals to cut into that goal differential deficit the Dominican Republic currently holds over them. Bermuda now putting the pressure on. Is that going to be the confidence lift that they've been searching for? That's a takeaway and a poor foul against Detterville. Free kick. Bermuda take it swiftly here. Could be a chance to cross this into the middle, and the referee deciding that there was no advantage for Bermuda brings this back for a free kick. Parfit was impeded. Tucker to take. Oh, he goes right at goal, and it's up for grabs, and it's just over the top. Oh, hands on heads. Dante Leverock thought he had scored. That would have really put Bermuda in pole position. Look at this, it pinballs around. Oh, and Leverock was put off, I think, by that last-ditch challenge on the line. He actually had a pretty wide open target to aim at. The goal was unoccupied on his side. And now Antigua Barbuda starting to struggle at the back here. They commit another foul. Another set-piece opportunity. This time it's the goal scorer, Lamb, who's brought down by his opposite number, Bishop. Bermuda sensing that this could be their moment to really put this game to bed. Another goal. Antigua Barbuda would have to score triple the amount of goals they've scored in the entire tournament to this point. From the free kick, touched away off the 6-yard line. Dennerville is fouled, just did enough to hold off the advances of Martin and alleviate some of the pressure. All of a sudden, it's Antigua Barbuda struggling to get out of their own end. Of course, the big difference is that when Antigua Barbuda had their momentum, they couldn't score. 2 times Bermuda have had it. They have managed to find a goal, and that's what's put them in charge. Good centering pass here. Can Antigua Barbuda get one back? Not quite. It bounced across the face of goal. Some frustration amongst the Bermuda defense here. Oh, and it may have actually taken a nick on the way through. It's going to be a corner. Now, Dion Pereira. Can he pick somebody out? It was right at goal, and it was headed off the line by Leverock. And there was an infraction in the penalty area. Referee will give a free kick to Bermuda. We'll get a chance to reset. Remember, a win in this game for Bermuda keeps them on track at a bare minimum for the Gold Cup prelims. They want to continue to extend the lead if they can. It's a good cutback here. It could be 3. It's a good save. It's a double save by Scott. Once again, Nakai Wells thwarted on the follow-up here. Good strike initially. It's a lovely cutback, and well, Zaim Scott, we talked about it earlier. Where would they be without him? Makes a double stop. There's the first one coming up here. It's just in front of him, and he was able to get there and corral it before Wells was there for the rebound. Now the concern is for Kendukar Challenger for Antigua and Barbuda. Well, there's the lovely goal from Reggie Lamb. Just smashed it out of the sky to give Bermuda their 2 goal cushion, 1 goal in each half for Bermuda. Pretty fittingly, they scored early in the first half off the Drew own goal in the 8th minute. They scored within the first 4 minutes at the start of the second half. Another look, just spot on with the technique there. Was able to get it past Scott, something that has not been easy to do today. And now off a takeaway, Bermuda are in behind again, and the ball in is cleared away before another finishing touch could be applied. We talked about this in the first half. Antigua Barbuda, who bounced back so well after conceding the first goal, have to do the same after conceding this second goal, or else they could be played out of it here. Remember, a loss for Antigua Barbuda puts them on the doorstep of relegation. They try to get one back here. It's clever skill. Dieterville, it takes a deflection towards the back stick. It's headed clear of the penalty area. Can Bermuda really get it clear? They'll have to settle for a throw. The sliding challenge from DeAndre Bishop. Well, the look here was actually clever initially from Kane Critchlow, but Bishop catches up to him. And both players involved need a moment or two. Well, the goals actually coming about 40 minutes of game time apart. Actually, didn't give Lamb enough credit. It was about 3 minutes into the start of the second half. Again, today's Nations League action coming on the heels of what was a dramatic last couple of nights in our League A quarterfinals, of course. Zaim Scott is being stretched out. That is not a sight that Antigua and Barbudan supporters want to see. Briefly mentioned it earlier, there were actually 3 road teams in the first leg of the quarterfinals that won all by a goal to nil. Panama at Costa Rica, Canada at Suriname, and the U.S. in Jamaica, all by 1 goal to nil. And then, well, we had some Honduran hysteria last night. Honduras beating Mexico again in the first leg of a quarterfinal in the Nations League for a second year running by 2 goals to nil. Incredible atmosphere. And we look at some changes here for Antigua and Barbuda. Daryl Massicott is going to come on for DeAndre Bishop. And Tarek Hughes is also going to enter, along with Dannon Francis as well. Kendukar Challenger is out on the Hughes change. And the last player to come out is going to be Raheem Dieterville. So Neil Jeffers realizing that time is of the essence here, and Antigua and Barbuda have to score at least twice to keep their hopes realistically alive to avoid relegation down to League C for the first time in the country's history in the Nations League. They've got just over a half an hour. They're hoping that these fresh changes, 3 of them in total, will be able to help the cause. And frankly, for Neil Jeffers, there's not much else he can do now. As Roy Gonzalez and Zaheim Green on the bench as far as attackers remaining, but that's it. Only 1 more change he can make, and Bermuda have yet to make a change yet. So they'll hope that they can maybe wear Bermuda down just a little bit and find the openings to get the goals they need to at least rescue a point as we approach the hour mark in the Dominican Republic.
Open the gate on the way up, close the gate on the way down.
Here's Francis. Played it off of Dwight. Reset by Drew. Early ball into the middle, diving header. Goalkeeper punches to the edge of the penalty area. Another close call, kept alive by Keon Green. This is Drew. Drew just pokes it ahead and is not able to pick anybody out. It's a giveaway. Francis communicating with him after the fact. A challenge there, it's a free kick, and you look at the shot stats and they tell a pretty big part of the story so far. You look at shots and you think, well, Antigua Barbuda have created just as many chances, 7-5, but how many of them have been quality opportunities? And the shots on target is sort of where the distance has been shown. 5 shots on target, 2 goals for Bermuda. Just 1 shot on target for Antigua Barbuda. No goals yet. Clinical cutting edge has been the difference, but Antigua Barbuda are going to keep pushing to try to get some late momentum. They have a corner upcoming. In it comes. Punched away by Bell, not definitively. And it was headed back into the middle. Bermuda are able to just about clear it. It's not definitive yet. Long distance shot. It's going to be sent soaring into the seats. It's a goal kick. That was the substitute, Daryl Massicott, who's had some good moments in an Antigua Barbudan shirt. This one was nowhere near the target. Switch of play onto the far side. The ball is pinpoint. On the turn, it's Massicott. Gets it back. And he wins another corner. Well worked. And more pressure on the Bermudan back line here. Can they find a finishing moment, a touch of class to get back in the game? From the corner, it's headed down. When it might have been handled on the ricochet. Free kick for Bermuda. Another look. Oh, it was on the ricochet there, wasn't it? Off the arm of Cordes, and it ends up ending the sequence. Well, that's a giveaway. Antigua and Barbuda have numbers arriving in the middle of the park here. Francis fizzes one in there, but it's headed out for another throw. 25 minutes plus stoppages to go. Recap of the goals. The Drew own goal in the first half. Reggie Lamb with a wonderfully taken volley, I should say, in the second half. A clumsy challenge there in behind. Free kick for Bermuda. We're trying to get a third goal, which would really slam the door shut.
Don't leave it 2v1. Don't leave it 2v1.
Well, it's just out for a throw. Well, Antigua and Barbuda defend the throw rather well, but they give up another one. Well, again, in the first half, for those just joining us, Antigua and Barbuda had some really good opportunities to find the back of the net, maybe 3 or 4 solid chances. They didn't take advantage, and Bermuda quickly gained control back at the start of the second half, and they've been the better side to this point. On the prowl, looking for a third. And this one's clipped over everyone. Scott is there. Ooh, that's going to get through here. Lovely touch. This is where they need to take advantage of the opportunities here and find a goal back. Oh, it's a majestic finish. There's the finishing touch. It's just Antigua and Barbuda's second goal of this Nations League campaign, and it's a stunning strike. A moment of magic from Daryl Massicott. All of a sudden, it's 2-1, and there's new life for Antigua and Barbuda. They have 20 minutes to save something here. Cue a Bermuda change or two here. I think it's Blaze Hall who is going to come on, and might be Remy Coddington to join him. We're awaiting confirmation on those 2 alterations. Well, Reggie Lamb, the goal scorer, he's going to come out here. He certainly made a contribution, but now margin has been slimmed down a bit here, and Lamb is out. Remy Coddington is the second change. And things get a little dicey here for Bermuda. in a game they have to win to keep pace with the DR at the top of the table. Well, Neil Jeffers and his staff have got to be thrilled at the way Antigua and Barbuda have just responded there. And once again, what a finish by Mascot. 20 minutes for Antigua and Barbuda to pull off a stunner here. Well, Bermuda trying to get their goal right back. It trickles out of play. How big are some of those Scott saves? Looking right now as well to keep Antigua and Barbuda in the match. Good switch of play out to the far side. Play continues, but no, once again, Bermuda not able to get the cross in. Wells loses it out of play. Can that magical Mascot moment be the spark to an unlikely comeback attempt here? Player for Bermuda is down. Bermuda trying to reestablish some of the control after conceding a world-class strike. Drew will take the throw. Twite ends up knocking it down for Hall, but the ball through. Finds Scott. Good build up again. Twite has to intervene. It's a throw-in. Francis wanted to take it right away. To his dismay, no one was ready for him. Neil Jeffers and company fighting for their League B lives at the moment. From the throw, it's headed high into the air, not cleared yet. Antigua and Barbuda retain possession. Even Scott comes up out of his goal to keep Antigua and Barbuda on the front foot. A near miscue forces it back to Scott. That's a takeaway. And if Bermuda are quick here, they could create something. And there was a bit of a push in the back. It's a Bermuda free kick. Great work from Blaze Hall, the substitute. He's really providing the spark. And it was Drew who just dragged him back ever so slightly more than it looked initially. A little tug, and it's a free kick. Oh, and Drew picked up a yellow card for that. Bermuda will get an opportunity to reestablish their 2-goal advantage.
Referee, the ball move. Yo, 1 kick left.
Looks like it's going to be Nakai Wells. Came close in the first half. And Nakai Wells slips it all the way through, but Scott was ready for it. A little bit of a collision on the back end. Scott took exception to it, and he outlets it to the far side with 15 minutes to go. Twite didn't quite get that right, and he commits a foul, and it's quickly going to be a free kick up the other end. And now Harry Twite is booked. Another look. Oh, it's a bit of a clumsy challenge. Twite thought he didn't have to go for the ball. He thought he was going to shepherd it away. He collides with Massacott. And it's a set piece upcoming here. Dangerous moments here for Bermuda. An opportunity knocks for Antigua and Barbuda. Could they equalize here and turn this around and try to get back on the path to League B safety? From the set piece, oh! Just bent wide of the target. Well, this really packed a punch from Keon Green, the halftime substitute. Well, the pace certainly beat Bell, but he actually ends up putting a little too much bend on it, unfortunately for him. Just wide. Bell clears, and well, I think it's fair to say with 13 minutes left, all three potential results here are still on the table. Wells up ahead, couldn't get there. Bermuda continue to put the pressure on. And they're going to end up winning this back for a split second. Can Antigua and Barbuda bring enough numbers forward? Looks like they're going to settle for a reset. True. Francis dispossessed. And now Bermuda could break up the other end. Good early ball in behind, but the run was not timed up well enough. Offside is the decision. Nakai Wells, not for the first time today. Just a fraction too early. And the assistant on the far side did not hesitate to put the flag up. That one's belted up ahead. Francis controlled it nicely. Playing it back across, and that was an opportunity for a header touched away. Now Dion Pereira among the players who were the targets in the penalty area. Now Bermuda bring it up the other end. Can they reestablish their 2-goal cushion? It's been 10 minutes since Antigua and Barbuda got back into it. And it slipped through, little dink over the top. And it could open up here for a chance. Bermuda to the byline. And they run out of room again. Wells again. Didn't make the decision quickly enough. And Nakai Wells played so well in the last window, but his decision-making at times has hindered Bermuda's attack in the final third, and he's not the only one. Others have just wasted, or maybe not wasted, but took too much time to make a decision. And it's hindered the recent quality of the Bermuda chances here. In some ways, you could say it's left the door slightly ajar A little bit of a roll there. And the referee waited to see if there was going to be an advantage. That's why the Bermuda players are perplexed. They thought the free kick was just going to be given, although much as there was contact on the player, there was some on the ball as well from Coddington. Decision goes Antigua and Barbuda's way, and they have 10 minutes to try to salvage a point that could keep them alive to avoid relegation. At least for now. Oh, Francis not on the same page with Pereira. Dwight's ball was played too early, and it's going to be dealt with by Scott. And Scott's ball just gets through to find a teammate. That's good hold-up play for Antigua and Barbuda. 9 minutes to save themselves something here. Pereira's run is blocked off. Quick throw into Francis. But before that'll be officially taken, a substitution for Bermuda. Roger Lee. He's going to come on for Keziah Martin. How can Roger Lee help to see this over the line for Bermuda? All things considered, Bermuda are still fine. Overall in the table, the goal differential, of course, is a different story with the DR still comfortably ahead. But Bermuda on 12 points if they see this out. At a bare minimum, they'll still be right in the mix for the Gold Cup prelims. Give up another goal, and that could be in jeopardy. Ooh, and there was a handball in the penalty area. Ooh, that could have gone either way, but it does look like it came off an Antigua and Barbudan arm. It's a free kick for Bermuda. The reason I said that could be close is because when the ball is just pinballing around the penalty area, you just never quite know what's going to happen sometimes. It's why you hear coaches and players all the time say it, especially at this stage of a game. Just get the ball into the penalty area and see what happens. It's better than dilly-dallying outside the 18-yard box. The free kick will go Bermuda's way, and clock keeps ticking. 7 minutes plus stoppages to go. Remember, the Dominican Republic are going to play Dominica later on today as afternoon turns into the evening. Looks like that'll be the end of the night for Dion Pereira. Meanwhile, we mentioned him earlier, Eroy Gonzalez. He's going to take his place. That's the last chess piece that Neil Jeffers can make. And no surprise, it's an attacking maneuver to try to get that elusive second goal. Well, that's a takeaway, but Dwight intercepts. And Bermuda play their way through. They have some numbers to work with. It's played across, and the first time touch was an errant one. Now a chance for Antigua and Barbuda to burst up the other end. Can they manufacture something here? Cross at the byline is cleared away by Dwight. The battle continues for possession on the far side. Bermuda will clear it. And they might have a chance to break themselves here. They'll use the space that's been given to them, and then they'll reset on this near side. Kane Critchlow plays it centrally. Wells clipping it into the penalty area, and then it bounces out of the penalty area, but it's kept in play. Tucker tries to thread the needle, but finds Scott, the goalkeeper. Early ball played up ahead here. There's players in yellow arriving. Here comes the shot! Parried away by Bell. Nearly the equalizer. What a moment that could have been. This one goes to the byline. A trip by Roger Lee. A set piece for Antigua Barbuda. Here's another look at the shot. Great save by Bell. He's able to parry it out of trouble in one foul swoop. On top of that, then Roger Lee holding back on Gonzalez. And Gonzalez will take the free kick, it looks like, or at least he'll be in the discussion. Morgan also wants to be a part of it. Can Antigua and Barbuda overturn this 2-goal deficit? Gonzalez headed away by Twite. Kept alive here for Morgan. Gonzalez is out-muscled in the end. Well dealt with. Bermuda will play their way through the midfield here. Chance to move this ahead. This is Hall. And Hall's pass comes up short. Hall follows up to keep it going. Hall lays it off. It's Tucker. And Bermuda, again, will reshuffle the cards here. Back to Twite. Gotta be careful here. Bermuda, they give the ball away. And Twite steps back in. Hall. Played it squared. It's a long distance shot. It ends up being a bit wasteful in the end by Bermuda. Wells and company give it right back. Still 2 minutes plus stoppages to go in what's turning into be a bit of a nail-biter down the stretch. Well, that pass was also errant, going in the opposite direction. Bell, who just made a huge save earlier, will use some extra seconds off the clock. See the light starting to come on here as afternoon turns into evening in the Dominican Republic. If Bermuda want any chance of catching the DR, they have to see out these last few minutes. Bermuda turn to their bench once again. Kane Critchlow will come out. And on to Todd. He's going to replace him. Todd is on to try and, again, make this a more comfortable conclusion for Bermuda down the stretch. Good shift from Kane Critchlow. Gets a big handshake from Michael Finley and the rest of the Bermuda coaching staff. Well, the next big question to be answered, you may have already been thinking about it yourselves. How much stoppage time is remaining here at the end of the 90? Drew. Cordes helps it along. Good job by Bermuda. They had enough numbers behind the ball to win it back quickly. And the ball down the line is going to trickle out of play, and we are into 4 added minutes remaining. Well, that's enough time for maybe one more moment. It's lifted over the top. Oh, the goalkeeper comes way out. But Bell gets there and does clear it. Not to sound like a broken record, we've talked about this on prior broadcasts, but goalkeepers take a risk. When they do that, they have to get it right. And now an outstretched arm catches Luke Robinson. Yellow card comes out for Gonçalves. That's only going to help Bermuda try to see this out. That was not the friendliest of outstretched arms there. Oh, well, if we had VAR, would not have been surprised if they had taken a second or third look at that. Confirmation of the Gonçalves yellow card. Referee will likely be keeping this in mind for the minimum of 4 added on at the end, as we have a stoppage in stoppage time. Well, the good news is, looks like Luke Robinson is okay. Like that took just about a minute, give or take. Keep that in mind if we play past the 4 minutes here. Either way, Antigua and Barbuda are running low on time. That ball is fizzed through. Francis tried to keep it going, deflected away. Francis again. Final seconds here. Could be a little bit more added on the back end. Oh, the ball is bent into the middle, headed away by Leverock. Clipped back to the edge of the penalty area. Francis won't get there, and it's a goal kick. Well, that should take us towards the end of the 4 added minutes, but remember, it's a minimum of 4. There could be another minute tacked on because of the Robinson injury stoppage. That, of course, is up to the referee's discretion. Bell to clear. How much more time will we have left? Bermuda have it where they want it. They're going to move it up the other end. Can Bermuda seal the deal? Not with a goal at least, but they'll win a corner thanks to the great work by Wells. And that might be enough to get Bermuda over the line with the 3 points. Would not be surprised at all if Bermuda just kept it in the corner, and I think Wells is calling for a teammate to join him for that sequence alone. Bermuda kept it in the corner. They're going to go back to the corner. You could hear from the bench, keep it there, keep it in the corner. Bermuda holding on to their lead in the dying embers, and they win a throw-in as the final whistle blows. Bermuda survives and defeats Antigua Barbuda by 2-1. They stay in contention for an automatic place in the Gold Cup. And unfortunately for Antigua and Barbuda, despite a late rally in the second half, thanks to Daryl Massicott, this result essentially puts them on the doorstep of relegation down to League C. They fought extremely well throughout, about midway through the first half, and definitely at times in the second half, Antigua and Barbuda looked like they had a real opportunity to turn this around, but not enough clinical finishing in the final third is what lets them down. An own goal from Drew and a lovely volleyed finish from Reggie Lamb are enough for Bermuda to take the points. An excellent curling finish from the substitute Daryl Massicott put Antigua and Barbuda on the comeback trail, but it was not enough in the end. Again, 2-1 is the final score, 12 points now in the group. For Bermuda, they'll hope that Dominica could do them a little bit of a favor in our second game of the day in Group D of League B. Still have highlights and some stats to get to before we turn over to that game and look ahead. And I must say, it really became a bit of a nail-biter down the stretch in our first game of the day. Full-time highlights to wrap things up here in the Dominican Republic before the DR takes on Dominica. And again, I think many going into this would have expected Bermuda to be pretty heavy favorites in this one, and that's how it played out from the beginning. Rebound here from Kane Critchlow, and then Safike Drew. He's a bit unlucky here. Tried to keep it out, instead puts it into his own net. That was in the 8th minute of play. There were other chances throughout the first half, but Bermuda and Antigua Barbuda not able to take advantage of them. But then, 3 minutes into the start of the second half, a gorgeous volleyed finish by Reggie Lamb doubled the delight for Bermuda and put them back in charge with 40 minutes remaining in the contest. And after that, they had a couple of opportunities to put the game to bed. They didn't take those chances, and that allowed Antigua Barbuda to get back into the game. Look at this finish. Daryl Massicott with a marvelous bending effort into the back of the net to make it 2-1 with 20 minutes remaining. And you felt at that point that could have been the spark to get Antigua Barbuda back into the game. And they did have a couple of chances. They forced a save or two out of Bell, but I must say the fresh legs from Bermuda were helpful in seeing the game out down the stretch. This was one of the good chances. Keon Green bending it just wide. And there were some physical moments, some yellow cards certainly came out in the second half. But in the end, Bell with a big save later on, and then Bermuda racing out the clock enough to get the men in pink the 3 points. Well, again, Bermuda do just about enough to win this one today. Look at the full-time stats, and again, Antigua and Barbuda had their moments, even aside from the Massicott beauty of a finish. But Bermuda took their 2 big chances, could have had a couple more, but in the grand scheme of things, they'll take a 2-1 win here. They stay on course for at bare minimum the Gold Cup prelims, and they stay in with a shout at League A promotion and automatic qualification into the Gold Cup if they can track down the Dominican Republic. They'll play next against Dominica after an impressive victory in the end. They had to hold on, but Bermuda beats Antigua and Barbuda by 2-1.